Okay, let's jump right in. Imagine this trader, Zuri, in West Africa. She's there, almost, forced to slip cash to a customs officer.
Right, that feeling.
Hmm.
And knowing it's cutting deep into her profits.
Yeah, the source says almost 40% of her profit on shea butter just gone, vanished into, hidden fees, unofficial payments.
It's maddening. And then the travel absurdity on top of that.
Exactly. Her phone pings and the itinerary is Nairobi to Addis, then Paris, just to get to Dakar.
Nairobi to Dakar via Paris. It speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does. Like, the source says, easier to circle the globe than to cross our own continent.
A very stark reality.
So that's what this deep dive's about today. Africa's incredibly inefficient trade corridors. We're digging into this source, reclaiming Africa's trade corridors with decentralized networks.
And it's not just about diagnosing the problem, which it does very clearly.
Okay.
It actually proposes a pretty revolutionary path forward.
Using, and I like this phrase, code, community, and consensus. So the big question we're exploring is, how can these very old ideas of cooperation, maybe fused with modern tech like blockchain, actually revive this kind of self-sufficient trade legacy and unlock just immense value?
Yeah, and the scale of the problems Zuri faced.
Yeah.
It's not an isolated incident. It's systemic.
Right.
Think about this. Over 70% of freight within Africa still goes by road. But get this. Only 20% of the continent's 2.2 million kilometers of highways are paved.
Only 20%. Wow.
Yeah. So you've got bad roads, endless checkpoints, those unofficial fees. It all adds up. Transport costs end up being maybe 60% higher than the global average.
60%.
It's a huge burden. And there's a concrete example in the source. Lagos to Accra, it's about 460 kilometers.
Okay, it should be, 8 hours driving maybe?
You'd think so. But routinely, it takes 3 days and costs double what it should.
3 days for 460 kilometers. And when you think about all the trade trying to move, what does that do to the wider economy? What's the real cost?
Well, it's profound. The African Development Bank put a number on it. These inefficiencies drain about $120 billion from African economies every single year.
$120 billion.
Yeah. I mean, think what that could do. That's enough to build, say, 6,000 schools or electrify 20 million homes.
So it's not just lost money for businesses.
Exactly. It's lost potential. It's missed opportunities for basic infrastructure, for services, for, human development. It hits the quality of life for millions.
That's a staggering cost. And like you said, it just ripples out. But here's where it gets, I think, really interesting. This problem feels so modern, right? Bureaucracy, bad infrastructure. But the source suggests the solutions, or at least the principles behind them, might be ancient. It contrasts today with something called the Age of Elephants.
Right. That's a fascinating part. Centuries ago, West Africa had these, elephant hats, they were called. Huge caravans, maybe 100 traders or more.
Elephant hats, I like that.
Yeah. And they covered vast distances, Timbuktu to Tripoli, moving gold, salt, cola nuts, knowledge pretty efficiently.
How did they manage it compared to Zuri's struggle?
Well, they pooled resources, shared water, grain, even hired armed guards together. And border fees. They weren't hidden bribes. They were negotiated openly, like communal rights. Everyone knew the deal.
Communal rights. That's a different world.
Totally. And crucially, the villages they passed through benefited. They got new wells, markets popped up, wealth flowed back from the caravan's profits. It was, symbiotic.
Mutual benefit.
Exactly. And the source makes this really powerful point. Today, Africa's legacy of self-sufficient trade lies dormant beneath crumbling highways and bureaucratic roadblocks.
So that efficient collaborative system existed. What happened? How did we end up here with Zuri flying via Paris?
Well, the source doesn't just lament what was lost, it points forward. It brings in this idea of code, community, and consensus as the new tools.
Right. The quote from Vusi Thembekwayo, if you want liberation, you must own the machines that process your dreams. And here, code is positioned as that machine.
Precisely. This leads to the core proposal. A Pan-African Freight DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization.
Okay, DAO. Explain that. How does it work in practice?
So imagine the farmers, the truck drivers, the traders. They co-own a digital network that manages the trade.
Co-own it?
Yeah. The code itself creates a transparent, unchangeable record in the blockchain that gets rid of the hidden fees. The community part means local ownership, shared benefits, and consensus means decisions are made by the people involved, not some far-off authority.
Okay, so step by step, how would Zuri's shea butter journey look different?
All right, first, digital tickets. Her truck's journey. It gets minted as a unique token on a public blockchain.
Like a digital passport for the cargo?
Kinda, yeah. It logs origin, destination, what's inside, all transparent. Second, sensor checkpoints. Simple little IoT beacons at borders.
Internet of Things devices.
Exactly. They just ping the blockchain when the truck passes. Confirms arrival automatically.
Okay, proof of passage.
And third, instant settlements. This uses smart contracts.
Self-executing code.
Right. Once that sensor confirms delivery, boom. The contract automatically releases the payment. Maybe 70% straight to the driver's digital wallet, 20% to the producer like Zuri, and 10% into a shared village fund.
Instantly. No waiting for invoices, no chasing payments.
Instantly. No hidden fees deducted, no 48-hour customs holdups, because the paperwork is digital and verified. It essentially decentralizes the whole process.
Takes the power away from the bottlenecks and gatekeepers.
And puts it back with the people actually doing the work in trade. It mirrors that old caravan trust, but using modern tech.
And you mentioned this isn't just an idea on paper. There's a real example.
Yes, exactly. The source highlights a pilot project. A Nigerian agritech collective tested this exact model.
Whereabouts?
On the route between Lagos and Abidjan, a notoriously difficult corridor.
And what happened?
The results were pretty remarkable. Cross-border delays, which used to be around 10 days,
10 days.
dropped under 48 hours, and those informal levies, the bribes, they just disappeared, vanished.
Because everything was transparent on the blockchain.
Precisely. There was no opportunity, no ambiguity to exploit.
Wow. Is there a human story attached to that?
There is. Fatima, a cassava farmer involved in the pilot.
Yeah.
She checked her phone one morning and saw 120 stablecoins.
A digital currency pegged to, say, the dollar.
Exactly. In her digital wallet. And she apparently whispered, "I finally saw the full value of my labor."
That hits home, seeing the full value.
It really does.
And it highlights that this was grassroots, right? The source emphasizes no grants, no bailouts, just neighbors coding trust into every transaction.
It connects to that idea from Erica Wenger about elephant companies, resilience coming from moving slowly, intentionally in deep relationship with the community.
That makes sense, but scaling that, replicating that trust community by community. What are the hurdles? It sounds great in a pilot, but continent-wide.
That's definitely the challenge. Overcoming the existing inertia, the fragmented regulations across borders. It's not easy. But the decentralized nature helps because you don't necessarily need top-down approval everywhere to start.
And the vision isn't just limited to trucks and roads, is it?
Not at all. The source points out Africa's huge, underused potential in its rivers, 54 major ones, its railways, 31 systems, its airports, 240 international regional ones.
We hear about these big, stalled projects sometimes, like the Inga Dam or the idea of a Congo River freight canal.
Or the Cape to Cairo Railway, that dream is over a century old. And even air travel, as we saw with Zuri. Only 19% of intra-African routes are nonstop. You're always bouncing through hubs.
How can the DAO model apply there to rivers or rails?
Yeah, you could have riverine DAOs, tokenizing barge journeys on the Niger, the Congo. Imagine stakeholders collectively managing that.
Or railways.
Railway syndicates, maybe DAOs, where station masters, cargo clients, even communities along the line own stakes in rail cars or routes. They could collaboratively set schedules, tariffs.
And air travel, getting rid of the Paris detour.
Air charter cooperatives, using tokens for seats on smaller aircraft doing regional hops, guaranteeing those direct connections between, say, Nairobi and Dakar, without needing a major airline or a European detour.
It's about applying the same principles, transparency, shared ownership, automated settlement across different transport modes.
Exactly. Reclaiming control over movement bit by bit, network by network.
It really paints a picture of potentially transformative change. So bringing it back to the listener, someone hears this, they see a bottleneck in their own area. What can they actually do?
Yeah. It's not about needing massive capital.
How?
The source quotes Carl Jung, "If you do your work conscientiously, unknown allies will come and seek you out." And it lays out some practical first move steps. It stresses reviving an ecosystem, not building an empire.
Okay, what are they?
First, spot the bottleneck. Use what's available, Google Maps, government data if you can find it, or just talk to people locally. Find that choke point in your region, road, rail, river.
Step 1, identify the pain point.
Right. Second, assemble 5 pillars. You need key people, a local producer or farmer,
Someone with the goods.
a driver or operator,
Someone who knows the route.
a tech-savvy coder,
Someone to handle the digital side.
a trusted community leader,
Someone to build local buy-in.
and a small sponsor. Doesn't have to be huge. Even the $1,000 could kickstart things.
Okay, the core team, then what?
Third, sketch the solution. Simple workshop, 2 hours. Chalk, sticky notes, phones. Map out your mini DAO. How does the ticket work? What are the payment rules? Keep it basic.
Get the logic down.
Fourth, build a minimum viable DAO. Deploy a very simple smart contract on a testnet that's like a practice blockchain. Mint those first few tokens, distribute them to your pillars, see how it feels.
Test the plumbing.
Exactly. And finally, fifth, report and iterate. Share what you did. Local WhatsApp groups, community radio, maybe online forums like Build DAOs. Get feedback. What worked, what didn't. Tweak it, improve it, and then maybe try a slightly bigger pilot.
So it really is iterative, community-led, building trust into the code, transaction by transaction.
That's the core idea. Bottom up, not waiting for massive top-down projects that might never materialize or might not serve local needs.
And looking ahead.
Well, tomorrow in Article 5, the real DAO treasury, we're apparently going deeper into how these DAOs manage the money. Vault designs, multi-signature security, revenue sharing, making sure the funds are truly accountable to the community.
Fascinating. It really makes you think, doesn't it, about coding trust. Maybe these smaller, decentralized grassroots efforts, maybe they hold the key to tackling some of these huge systemic problems that big projects seem to struggle with.
It's definitely a powerful thought to consider, a different way of building the future.